Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Y'all, to begin this reading, I want to break down a phrase that I am hearing. The phrase is sold from under you. Now, typically, I've heard that phrase when talking about homes, real estate, some type of property, even if it's commercial, okay? Sold from under you. This phrase implies that the sale happened suddenly and without the affected person's prior knowledge or consent, leaving them with little or no time to react or take preventative action. That phrase is what kind of governs the nature and the intent of this reading. Now, who is showing up in this reading? We have three characters. We have a Queen of Coins who is bringing forth the archetype of death. We have somebody who is a rebel. And then finally, we have fame. Now, everybody in this reading is centered around the archetype of fame. This is the magician. This reading is saying that you can tell the difference between two types of people. You have magicians and then you have charlatans. Charlatans are false people. These are people who falsely claim to have a special knowledge or a special skill, but at the end of the day, the charlatans are frauds. Well, then you got the magicians. The magicians are people with magical powers. They have an exceptional skill in a particular area. So this reading says we got this magician, and this magician is assigned to have a life experience classified as fame. One of my handmade cards says some people want it to happen. Some people wish it would happen. Others make it happen. We've dealt with that quote before. That is a quote by Michael Jordan. And so let me tell you about the magician that we're focused on in this reading. You are a magician. You have magical powers, your exceptional skill. When people watch you, this is how they separate you from the rest. Why? Because a lot of people want special shit to happen. A lot of people make wishes every single day for special shit to happen. But then there's you. There's you, and you make it happen, which is why the power that you have has the ability to bring fame and notoriety to you. You use your energy to make things happen. A magician is going to use everything that they can put their hands on in their own life, and that will be absolutely enough for them to create and to manifest. To be a magician, it means you are having a conversation with spirit. When you hang that phone up, you are going to have notes about what it is you talked about. Your notes are physical manifestations. I'll know that you just talked to spirit about a car because you got a car. I'll know that you asked for spirit for a new name for your business because now you got a new name and a logo, right? And so magicians can have spiritual conversations and physically show you receipts of what it is that they have just done in the spirit realm. Y'all, this is who this reading is about. This is about you. Now, the other person in this reading is the Queen of Coins. This is somebody who carries the spirit of death. So the thing about a magician, it all really happens around a dream. Sometimes if we say dream, I have a dream, it sounds so far away. But a dream is really just a reality that you haven't quite moved into yet. You know, sometimes like you'll get a house or an apartment or you'll get something and your reservation starts at a certain day. Not that you're not going on the trip, not that you haven't booked the flight, but it has to take place on a specific day and a specific time. So you're going, it just hasn't arrived yet. A dream is like a reality that you're booking, but it hasn't arrived. And so how do you get your reservation? How do you get your dream to become a reality? How do you get your dream to become a success? My handmade card says discipline is the bridge between dreams and success. You have this dream, you have this trip that you want to take, but in order to take it, you got to do the same thing again and again and again, because that is what is required to make this thing become a physical success or a physical manifestation. So let's say spirit says, you know what? We really want to give this thing to you. We've been on the phone with you. You've been talking about what this is that you were trying to manifest. You've been telling us in the spiritual realm about this reality that you really want, okay? You've been talking to us. And the only thing that we require of you in order to manifest this reality is discipline. That means that we need you to be focused. Okay? Discipline is the bridge to success, which means on one side of the bridge is your dream. It is the reality. On the other side, it is the success. That's the day the trip comes. This is finally the day that you can set sail, you can take your flight, you can depart, right? So there's the reality, but then there's the day where you can step in it and it becomes a success. It becomes real. Spirit says, listen, the only thing we need you to do is to walk this bridge every day. You got to take the same path every day, again and again and again. I've heard somebody say, the thing that you do that doesn't feel like work, you know, like when they're talking about living a life or creating a business that is really based on a passion, so that when you show up and you do it every day, it doesn't even feel like you're working. It is just natural to you. And so that thing, whatever that thing is that you are supposed to be doing every single day that is work but don't look or feel like work, that's the conversation that you were having with Spirit. And Spirit says, that's fine. We just want you to be disciplined. The only way it can become a reality is if you walk across this bridge every day in the same way, with the same thoughts, with the same emotions at the same time. Discipline. You got to show up. Show up and it is yours, right? And so this is your superpower. Remember, some people want it to show up. Some people wish their dream would show up, and then there's you. You make them show up. Now, this Queen of Coins that is in the archetype of death is watching you, and they're noticing that you are a disciplined soul. Let me tell you something. Special souls that are never ever going to be classified as a charlatan. You can identify those souls at 6 months, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old. It's never like a moment in life where you just wake up and you become something great. It is in you from birth. You are recognized and set apart. And so when I see the Queen of Coins in this deck, I can't remember the character's name, but I'm using my Game of Thrones tarot deck. And this is the grandmother of somebody who was supposed to marry Joffrey after Sansa didn't. Okay? It is that grandmother that shows up in this deck as the Queen of Coins. This is somebody who uses their age, their wisdom, their power, and their money to make moves. This is the spirit of the person that is watching you. They're watching you be disciplined. They're watching you get up every day and walk across this bridge. Now, let me just say something real quick. Let's say that when you were having the conversation about manifesting your dream into a reality with the spirit realm, what if they said to you, you got to cross this bridge every day? Like, let's say you just got to go to work every day if you want to do this thing, and we need you to take a lift. The only way that you can make your dream a reality is if you get up every day at the same time, and if you schedule your lift ride. You know, sometimes spirit tells us to do something specific, and we must be obedient. So let me say this. You know, why would we have to schedule a Lyft and not an Uber? You know, sometimes there are options, but there are specific reasons why Spirit says do one thing instead of the other. Now, both can offer you a ride across that bridge. But if the spirit world says Lyft, then you got to take a Lyft, right? And you got to be disciplined. You got to schedule, you got to show again and again, right? Now, you know, one of the things that I love is that Spirit is always looking out, not only for your short term, but for your long term. So one of the reasons why Spirit says I want you to take a Lyft is because you can combine your Lyft account with your DoorDash account, and you can combine it with your direct TV. So Spirit says, listen, you're going to be disciplined. We need you to be focused, but we want you to have a little extra money. But we want you to take a Lyft because you can link it with the other bills that you have and you can save a little, okay? And so we want to cut you some slack because you got to work hard through this season. So somebody is watching you and they're recognizing that you take a Lyft every single day. They're recognizing that you use DoorDash every single day. And they also recognize recognize that you are watching direct TV every single day. Now, the person that's watching you is the spirit of death. This is somebody that uses their power, their privilege, and their mind. This person wants to mess up your daily trips. The discipline, if you continue, this is somebody that already knows you are a soul that makes it happen. This is somebody that knows you're not a fraud. They know you're not a charlatan. They know you are a magician with power. Yo, somebody plots and plans based on how this reading is set up. Somebody plots and plans to send you an Uber. Remember, Spirit specifically said you got to take a lift. This person sends you an Uber. Now, remember, it's going to do the same thing. It is going to take you from one side of the bridge to the next. But the details of what happens inside this vehicle is a little different from what Spirit needed to happen inside of that lift. And so this Queen of Coins is trying to bring an ending to your new beginning before it gets here. The lift that Spirit wants you to ride in, it doesn't compromise your flesh. So the thing about discipline is your flesh has to be at peace. Your flesh got to let your mind go to work every single day, again and again. And so when you are taking your lift, Spirit has already given you money for food. They've already said you can watch this TV. We got your work. We got your food. We got your entertainment covered in this entire package. Do this for 6 months and watch your dream become a reality. Somebody wants to fuck up your flow. They send an Uber to you, right? Now it looks so fucking similar because guess what? It is still a vehicle that you can use to cross the bridge every day to make the dream a reality. But this Uber, when you get inside this vehicle, the energy of sexual attraction. And so listen, somebody recognizes that your flesh is really quiet when you were building your dreams. And so the only way that they can cause you to stumble, the only way that they can change the way that you are walking across that bridge is to get your flesh to start to speak to you. If you get in the Uber, this is a vehicle that is going to get your flesh speaking very loudly. I have a card that says sexual attraction, electric chemistry, can't get enough of each other physically, too hot to handle attraction. That card is clarified by the 7 of Diamonds. This means predicts success and achievement. Hard work pays off or profit. The Queen of Coins makes a move that is supposed to bring you death. This is somebody that sends you an Uber instead of a lift. They send you the energy of sexual attraction, which is going to interrupt your discipline. Whatever walk you were supposed to walk spiritually every single day to make your dream become a success, somebody wants to interrupt your momentum and stride. And remember, when you are a true magician, when you are a true powerhouse, the only person that could beat you is you. And so if somebody can get your flesh to work against you, that is what they'll do. That is what this reading does, right? And so if there's a certain type of relationship or a partnership or a contract or a business that you're supposed to have, Spirit says it looks more like a lift. This person says, you know what? I'm going to send them an Uber because I know they can't walk across that bridge if their hormones are screaming. I know they can't walk across that bridge if they take this ride in this vehicle. Yo, so here's the next part of the reading. I literally have a card that says rigged. Rigged. This is an intentional attack in order to rig your system, in order to rig your walk. Somebody wants to fuck up your discipline in order to make sure that whatever the conversation was you just had with the spirit world, it doesn't manifest. It doesn't come to fruition. Rigged talks about unfair manipulation to achieve a specific outcome, dishonest or unethical behavior, deceptive outcome. Spirit said, we want you to ride in a lift and we don't ever want you to take an Uber because that is a ride that is going to be rigged, y'all. But this is what was sent to you. On top of the card that says rigged, I have the 2 of Spades. This means brace yourself, problems ahead, disagreements, breakup, rift. In order to fuck up your bridge or your path to success, sexual attraction is sent but it is a rigged method that is intentionally supposed to deceive you. Y'all know how sometimes you get the devils in the red dress. They're not all wearing dresses, okay? Sometimes they're wearing boxers. This is talking about somebody sending something or someone to you specifically, but it is designed to look like a lift. I literally have Chariot. This is why I thought of Uber and Lyft, because in the center of the reading, I have Chariot. And so somebody sends you a Chariot, the same vehicle, like, you know, the Chariot card. It's about willpower. It's about ego. It's about control. But it's about being able to drive your own power in such a way that you get from point A to point B in a way that is clean and successful and forceful and courageous. Somebody wants to fuck up your car, right? If this is the way you're driving to make your dream come true, I'm going to make sure that you get a flat tire. I'm going to make sure that you have no gas. Somebody rigs your vehicle. And so if Spirit says you're a magician and there's a relationship, there's a contract that you're supposed to be building, you know, your dream includes other people, or your dream includes this. Somebody just wants to rewrite the details of your dream. In the center of the reading where it talks about the rigged attack, my handmade card says nothing is more attractive than loyalty. And so the person that comes to you, this attack is going to be attack of disloyalty. The way the Chariot is described, this reading calls it the spirit of times. So the type of vehicle that I am going to send to you, it will not be a Lyft, because remember, Lyft was loyal. It got you to where you were going. It gave you discounts on food, and you got a little TV subscription package for your entertainment. You were winning when you did, or when you rode in the vehicle that Spirit said. But when you get this new vehicle that's been rigged, when you get this Uber, this thing is not going to be attractive. It's not going to be loyal in the way that you've been moving in your own discipline. This Chariot, when you're calling something a spirit of the times, you were saying that something is a rebel. Rebels cannot help but stand outside of time. In order to fuck up your energy, in order to get you to rebel against yourself, I gotta send somebody that carries an energy that is contrary to yours, right? I gotta send something unlike you. And so that is what I mean about getting in an Uber instead of a Lyft. Y'all, they pretty much look the same, and we are not always understanding that that person, that job, that project, that behavior, whatever it is we are about to get in, whatever it is that we are about to link up with, it looks so much like the assignment, but it is going to speak to another aspect of our body, so much so that it fucks up our discipline. And so a rigged chariot comes to you in the form of a rebel. And this talks about a spirit that is going to challenge the status quo. This talks about somebody who operates on a totally different timeline, okay? A level of resistance, somebody who sacrifices the present moment in order to, they sacrifice the present, but what I'm saying is this is somebody that is willing to sacrifice your present moment in order to get to a specific outcome. That is the type of chariot that comes to you. So remember all the ways I said the Lyft works with your life, all the ways that this Uber that is sent to you, it is going to come against you. Nothing is more attractive than loyalty. And so if this Queen of Coins understands that loyalty is required to maintain your discipline, the energy that has to come into your life is going to be disloyal to you so that you become disloyal to you. All they need you to do is to use your own power against you. Y'all, to end the reading, I get the card that says baby trapped. Literally, there are some situations where you have gotten into a very quick exchange and all of a sudden you are expecting a child with another person. When I see baby trapped, literally somebody could have wanted to have a pregnancy with you. Somebody may have wanted to create a child just to make sure. Remember I said at the beginning of the reading, sold from under you. And so here's the thing. You have a house called your body and your life. Your body has been assigned find a life of fame. Fame is going to move into your life. Fame is going to move into your vessel. Somebody that watches you, that understands that you were the type of person to make it happen. This is somebody that wants shit to happen, wishes shit to happen, but they don't know how. So they use their money to bring death to those that do know how. This is the charlatan that makes moves in order to almost take the wheels off of other people's chariots. And so sold from under you, meaning when it's finally time for fame to move into your house, to move into your body, to move into your life. First of all, fame is coming to you because you were disciplined. You walked every single day across that bridge to success. Every time you took that path and you practiced those habits, that schedule, that behavior, you connected your dream. Your dream is so connected that it's a real reality that you can touch, taste, feel, smell, and physically experience. And so before fame can move in, somebody wants you to be out of sync. So that fame is like, this ain't the house I'm supposed to move in. I can't live here. And so Baby Trap is literally about getting you to ride in a rigged chariot. This chariot is not taking you to the destination of your dreams. All that work you've been doing, when this chariot finally drops you off, it is dropping you off in a contract, aka called Baby Trapped. That same rigged chariot is trying to create a contract with you. A baby, listen, the Baby Trapped card is clarified by the Ace of Clubs. It doesn't have to be a physical child. This is any type of important contract, any type of promise, meaning somebody, the Uber that picks you up is trying to be in your life for fucking ever, but it's a rebel energy. It is an energy that is opposite you. Let me tell you something. Let me go a little further. When I talked about a rigged vehicle, the next card I get is the Six of Coins. So here's the money. Remember the Queen of Coins? This is somebody that's got some money, but they use their money to find ways to bring death. And if they got to rig or pay people or find, and they're always looking for resistance energies. They're always looking for energies that counter the very thing that is trying to manifest. Whatever you need to manifest, aka loyalty, even if it's you being loyal to yourself every single day, they are going to find somebody that carries a counter energy in order to mess up the conversation that you have with yourself and spirit every single day when you're trying to be disciplined and build your dream into a success. So I have the Six of Coins on top of Lover. The Six of Coins is literally somebody paying, somebody receives. So somebody is paid in order to create a contract with you. Somebody is paid to put a baby in you. Somebody is paid to trap you. This is not a short-term trap. Children are around forever. They literally grow into adults, right? And so this is like, listen, I want you to rig their life. When it's time for fame to move into this magician's life, I want fame to bypass them. I don't want them to look like the type of person that is supposed to have this experience. I want to sell their life right from under them. I want to sell their body. I want to sell their vessel right from under them by getting them to ride in a rigged vehicle. It is not taking them to the success that they think they're building. This is taking them to a contract. The payment that is attached to this contract, I get the card, the Lover. Now, in the deck that I'm using, the Lover is an archetype. Carl Jung describes this as, this is the lover of Eros. This is what unites those who sit on opposite sides of the table. So this is about passion, often sexual, love, desire. This is that physical attraction. This is what you feel in the early stages of a relationship. This is what gives you nerves. This is what gives you excitement. But somebody is paid to evoke that type of feeling because that is the feeling that you need in order to create the contract. Y'all, it doesn't have to be a physical baby, but some of y'all literally have been baby trapped. But there are many ways to bound yourself. Sometimes it's by an exchange that leaves you with a disease. Or sometimes an exchange is so deeply hurtful that you now have some type of like mental battle in order to like soothe your mind and kind of like put together the pieces about what. So there are many ways that people contract themselves to you in order to fuck up your discipline and your loyalty to self. And so now when you get up to make it happen, somebody doesn't want you to be able to make it happen. If you keep making it happen, when fame is finally supposed to find you, you are supposed to not look like somebody who was fit for it. Yo, this is a whole plot that happened or is happening. My card says, it's okay if you don't like me. Not everyone has good taste. Y'all, can I tell you how hurtful this is? That statement that I just read comes out with baby trap. So I need you to make a contract with this person. I need you to get them all hot and bothered, right? We're talking about the type of eros love where you have two opposites, two people who are on different sides of the spectrum, right? This is the difference between Uber. This is why Spirit said, don't take no Uber. Don't be getting all hot and bothered. Don't be sexually attracted, right? That's going to fuck up your discipline. We need you to walk this bridge every single day. And if your flesh is loud, it's going to fuck up where your chariot finally lands. We don't want you to land with contracts that were built on passion and desire. We're building long-term dreams. You have a magical power, okay? And so some people can just have sex, and that's the only thing they can manifest is baby. Some people can only manifest babies, okay? But you're not a fraud. You can bring a lot more than the child from the spiritual realm, okay? And so people are after that. People recognize that when you didn't even recognize yourself. And so somebody wants to make you out of sync with fame. This is feeling disconnected, feeling not aligned, feeling like I'm not coordinated. I don't have my timing right. I'm not in harmony. That comes out with the energy of the Four of Hearts. Meaning the change that comes for the better when this fame, the fame is going to leave you with a deposit in your spirit and in your emotion. Somebody wanted to change that. And for them, interrupting that would have been a change for the better in their own life. I get the energy of the Eight of Wands. And so this is like fame is on the way to your house. And somebody is trying to slow it down energetically. They're any way possible. They don't want fame to come. And so they're in the process of making you out of sync so that it passes right by you. Even though you are the type of person to make it happen, even though you're disciplined, there are people who want it to happen and who wish it'll happen, who will never be able to make it happen. And so what they are willing to do is to pay for rigged chariots to pick you up. And when that rigged chariot comes, you are going to think that it is taking you across that bridge every day, just like Spirit told you. But Spirit said it's got to be a Lyft. It can't be a Uber. Y'all, using you against you is the only way you can use. For some of you, maybe you found a lover that wanted to impregnate you or have a baby with you. This could have been somebody that is paid. Sometimes people are not conscious that they are being moved. Some people are consciously coming to you because they are working with a plan and a plot in order to create a contract with you that goes nowhere. To create a contract with someone and then to say, and then you have to tell that person it's okay that you don't like me. This is somebody who wants to open a door and then walk away. But unfortunately, the door is going to be open for the rest of your life. Right? This is somebody that just wants a door open, because when you open the door to certain people, places, and things, and when you can't close them because you got a contract, that changes the energy of you. Now you got people living in your house, and those people are not supposed to be dealing with fame. That fame was not assigned to them, but they want to be a part of the assignment. And if they got to trap you or contract you, then they will do it. They will pay people to do it. Yo, so this is about a setup, and I don't know where this is. This is something that you could have gone through. This is something that you already knew happened and you just need confirmation. It doesn't say if anybody is specifically male or specifically female. This is literally the charlatan versus the magician, the fraud versus the powerful. To be a powerful manifester means that there are going to be a lot of frauds. They're going to want to do what you can do, and because they can't, they will move against you in a variety of ways in order to stop the energy that is due to you because of the work that you've done. They do not want that energy to move into your life. They want you to be out of sync. They want to disconnect you from what it is you deserve. Yo, they just want to get you to ride in the wrong vehicle. They want to rig your chariot. Y'all keep riding in the Lyft. Do not get in the Uber. You will know it's an Uber because somebody will carry the energy of a rebel. It'll be very passionate, but you really won't be aligned. Or maybe the sexual attraction, it'll be very hot at first, but it is going to cloud your intellect. When all that shit dies down, it is almost like the contract is created, the person walks away. But guess what? The door is open forever now. And that is the literal goal of this. Only to make sure that fame doesn't move into your life, you are sent a rigged chariot. All right, y'all. And the rigged chariot is always going to make your flesh scream very loudly. That'll be an indication. All right, y'all. I love you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.